Welcome. I'm Kinetic Symphony. I hunt down and report on mysterious and weird true stories, from glitches to the paranormal. Case file number 186. Written by nowayguy. I can see through walls. This happened earlier today. I was working the evening shift at a refinery. Just me and two other guys. At some point, I stepped outside for a smoke, staying just a couple of meters from the open door, but not with much of a view inside. I was looking at my phone when I suddenly noticed that I had been aware of movement in my peripheral vision. Specifically, my two coworkers moving about our production hall, through two concrete walls and various production equipment. I became aware because one of them was heading towards me and would pass the open door in 3, 2, 1. What the hell? At which point I looked up and went inside to check, and yep, the other guy was exactly where I saw him too. Case notes, file number 186. Talk about a unique glitch. It's just a flat-out superpower, although not controllable by your description. At least for now. I wonder what you'll do if you can manifest control over this ability down the road. Nothing entirely pure, I'm sure. If you're enjoying this video, consider giving it a like. Now on to the next story. Case file number 187. Written by yamsnz. When in need, the universe will provide you a mechanic. This happened about a month ago, and I still think it's pretty weird, so I've decided to post and see if anyone else thinks so too. I live in quite a small rural area. It's over an hour's drive to the nearest town, through a winding road that is fairly quiet. Not a busy traffic area at all. Occasionally, I will only come across a handful of other cars on the entire trip. There is also no phone reception through the most isolated part of the road. This stretch winds through a gully for about 35 minutes with no reception. I drive a reliable car that hasn't broken down, ever. So imagine my surprise when midway through this no reception stretch, late one night, my oil light came on and the car threw up a warning that basically said, "Stop driving immediately and check oil." I pulled over and looked to check if it was safe to open my door to get out and check the engine. That's when I noticed the car across the road. I hadn't noticed it when I pulled over as I was distracted by the oil warning, but it was a company car with the bonnet up, and behind it was a mechanic sign-written truck that said, "Roadside Assistance." Unfortunately, I don't have roadside assistance, so I just got out and put my own bonnet up. I couldn't figure out what was going on because I don't know anything about cars. By this point, both the mechanic and the lady are like, what are the odds of this happening in the same place? And I'm pretty sure they might have thought that I just pulled over because I spotted the mechanic truck. I ended up talking to them for a bit, and it turns out the lady had a satellite phone since it was a company car, and so she had reception to call for help. After he fixed her car, he fixed mine enough that I could get home safely, and we all carried on. I just think it's weird. I've never seen anyone broken down on that road before. I've never broken down before in my 10+ years of driving, and the odds of us both breaking down in the exact same spot at that exact same time, and her having a mechanic there, was so weird. If they hadn't have been there, I don't know what I would have done. It's in the middle of winter, it was dark, and I had no way to call for help. Case notes, file number 187. There's this quote I heard, forgot where it's from, but it goes something like, "Coincidences mean you're on the correct path." I'm not a huge believer in fate, but I do think there's a certain direction we're meant to, but not universally forced, to travel in. And I think when you're on the proper path, there's signs everywhere, and life feels smooth.